Good morning, saints, snitches, and the rest of y'all still lying in the group chat. Welcome to Morning Tea and Allegations, where the devil gets no mic and the truth gets the final say. Yes, it gets on. Hey, hey! She don't run on rumors, she run on receipts. Sanctified shade with the screenshots to preach. This ain't just gossip, it's gospel flow. She prays, she claps back and lets the spirit go. Bible in one hand, the docs in the other. She speaks with fire, can't silence the truth. Hosted by Bianca, the snitch with a mission. Calling it out, cause our children deserve better. Morning tea and allegations, pouring truth with no hesitation. Accountability in rotation. This is gospel education. Transparency is our foundation. Integrity leads the conversation. No rumor, no speculation. Just facts, receipts, and revelation. Morning tea and allegations, where faith walks bold through shady temptation. No fake tongues, no false relations. Just truth, conviction, and conversation. Morning tea and allegations. Snitches on the airwaves. Known again, yeah. Allegations. Snitches on the airwaves. Morning tea and allegations. Snitches on the airwaves.
Good morning to you. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Tea and Allegations. This is your host, Bianca Goolsby, aka Petty B, and I'm here this morning. I need y'all to speak in the comments and say something. And if you're watching on the replay ministry, also speak up in the comments, okay? I want to know that you're here. I want to know that you're watching. We have an action-packed show today, and I just can't wait for y'all to see all the different things that I've been compiling for you because, whoo, child, the tea is hot. There's a lot of things going on. And the title of today's episode is You Cool? So we're going to go ahead and get started with our normal course of action, and that is going to be with our church announcements, okay? So let's go ahead and get those queued up. So the Sunshine Education Coalition, they are kicking off their series, the Parent Code Workshop. The next session is on August the 27th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The topic of this session is Discipline Policies 101. This is an opportunity to learn about school discipline, your rights, and how to support your child throughout the process. I am going to go ahead and put the link in the chat so that you can go visit their website so that you can go register for these workshops and get involved, be intentional because our children deserve better. Amen. Amen. Okay. So check the cell phone. I have been doing a lot of work with revitalizing Check the Cell Phone, adding more resources. And on the last show, I had shared that I was going to be going on an adventure pretending to be a 13-year-old using Roblox. Well, I have some updates about that, and I can't wait for y'all to see that towards the end of the show because I actually won't be doing that because the block is hot for Roblox, and I'm going to spill the tea and tell you why. Okay, just know that cease and desist have already been sent out. Threatening legal action has already occurred, and there's a lot of people that are talking about it. So the question is, are your children on Roblox? And if they are, then you need to tune in and find out more because it's a lot happening on the platform. Next on the church announcement is I'm going to continue to uplift Canva. Canva is the tool that has allowed me to make these different changes, to make these different videos, these graphics, all the things that you see here. A lot of the stuff was made with Canva. So I just want to thank them for the partner link. Thank you for supporting this work. Thank you for the vital tool that is necessary to get this message out, to share the message, to share the news, to share all the different things that are going on around here. And last but not least, amen, I have a Patreon and I need y'all to join it. The equalizers, they have a head start on knowing what we're talking about today, and you can too. You can join for less than $2. Okay. You can pick which amount that you want to join in Patreon. However, that is going to be changing really, really soon because there are series that are going to be added to Patreon that are Patreon exclusive, just like there are blogs that are posted that are Patreon exclusive. So you want to make sure that you are staying up to date with all of that and being in formation with all of that. So, yeah. Well, before we get started with everything on the show, I need to go ahead and play the disclaimer. Amen. Because we need a disclaimer for this. And I can't wait for y'all to hear and check out the new disclaimer. So let's roll the clip.
Thank you, church members, as we have additional announcements and disclaimers that require your full attention. I am a certified snitch and whistleblower that reports on what is happening in our community. Like I always say, people lie, receipts don't. With that stated, the content used in this programming is protected under fair use. In addition, the views and opinions on this programming belong to me. I hold myself accountable and prioritize accuracy and truthfulness in my communications. So unless you have receipts, don't start with me. God is still working on me. I love the block button to protect my peace, and I desire to snitch on everybody, including me. Thank you for your attention and govern yourselves accordingly. Amen.
But God said post and let the record stand.
Amen. 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 And the soundtrack that you're hearing is coming from a new album that I've been working on, Holy Ghost Clapbacks Volume 1. And the song is titled Amazing Snitch. Yes, indeed. It's going to be lit. I'm telling you, the things that I've been creating have been bringing me so much joy. And as you can see in the background, okay, I'm in my bear cave. I'm in my bear snuggie. I got my honey that has my name on it and also my home, okay, the home of the snitch. And I'm using this word intentionally because we need to redefine what snitching is, and we need to protect our whistleblowers and our snitches out here and holding people accountable because enough is enough. So, with that being said, let's get started with what is on our docket today. So I've been getting messages, right? Messages have been coming through about, hey, Bianca, I had seen the last episode of Morning Tea and Allegations, and I just have some questions about some of the people that you've mentioned and the people that you've talked about. And I want to know what exactly where they're at. So I'm actually working on a series of where they're at now. There are some key people that I've been highlighting, that I've been talking about, and I can't wait to do a deep dive to talk about that. But there are some things that are happening in our country that is just wild, wild. And I'm going to use my opportunity, a privilege to use my voice on the matter and to really talk about the things that I'm passionate about. And hopefully you are passionate about it too, because ultimately our children deserve better. Okay. So fumbled, fumbled. The state of Florida, $2.2 billion in Medicaid funding for our schools. So I published an article about how the state of Florida intentionally failed to update their reimbursement procedures. Again, I'm saying that they have intentionally failed to update reimbursement procedures. And for over a decade, the Florida Agency for Healthcare Administration has not followed federal guidelines. Oh, hell no. So when we're talking about mental health counseling, when we're talking about support for our children, and we're talking about children that may have physical or developmental disabilities, Florida has dropped the ball at the price tag of 2.2 million. Mhm. So in the chat, I'm going to post a reference article so that you can see it. The first article that I am posting is from the Tampa Bay Times. And then also, I did a write up about it as well. And that is on my website. And that's a Patreon exclusive. So for those of you that are in Patreon, already had first access to see the receipts and knowing who is exactly responsible and some of the commentary as it relates to this. But we're saying that our children deserve better, and there are key decision makers in the state of Florida that are intentionally not following guidelines. It's messed up. It's not fair. It's not right. And ultimately, our children deserve better. So I just wanted to uplift that, because also what's happening is it's happening federally too. So let me go ahead and share my screen here so that you could see this article that I'm referencing here. And this comes from the Washington Post. Okay. So let me get that together. Uh-huh. All right, boom. So the Washington Post also says that there are additional schools that are going to be hit with Medicaid cuts. And so this is going to cost schools billions in reimbursements for services like speech therapy and counseling. And it's now forcing districts to scramble to meet mandates. Now, I just shared with you that the state of Florida was intentionally not complying with federal guidelines. And I just want to just ask you, what do you think is going to happen with all of this? W- w- how- I am so confused how we say we care about the children and that our children comes first and we need to protect our children. And meanwhile, we are having all of these cuts to things that are providing services to our children. And it's not making sense at all. It doesn't make sense. It's not right. And I just want y'all to be very intentional about what is happening in our government, because it's a lot. It's a lot. Oh, but it goes further. It goes further. So, who child? There was a parent that has gone viral because they had some commentary after going to meet the teacher. And she said that she was underwhelmed attending her child's meet the teacher. And I just want to play the clip so that we can discuss it. So let's go ahead and get the clip together and roll it.
This is your sign that if you are just home from your kids' meet the teacher and you are underwhelmed and not excited like you were a few days ago, then you are not loved. All I wanted was like a fun rug, a cool rug on the ground for him. Nothing. I'm just praying that by Tuesday there is a little bit more fun in the room, because right now it just looks like a room with a few Legos and, you know, empty bins and a board with nothing written on it. Like, it couldn't even say, like, welcome to meet the teacher with, like, her name on it. I don't... I mean, he didn't really notice any different, and he said he's excited still. But it's boring. Like, you couldn't put the name on the board or anything. This is your sign.
I just need to take a moment. The audacity is so it's so wild to me. The audacity is so wild that she got on this platform to say she's underwhelmed and how the school needs a cute rug and the classroom needs to be decorated a certain way, and is going to the same app where parents were just saying how school supplies are too expensive and that's why they're not buying school supplies. This is the same platform, okay, where when COVID was happening and things were shifting in the classroom, they said, teachers, if you don't like it, quit. Y'all remember that? I remember that. I remember that. I feel like the gaslighting and the moving the goalpost is something that really needs to be examined, because I don't understand how folks feel that educators should have their room completely decked out when in most cases they are paying for the supplies. Okay? The comment says here, says, then you should have brought something to support the teacher because they're paying for this out of their own pockets. I'm glad that you said that, because I'm telling you, nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. The woman who posted it ended up deleting the video and going private because she went viral in a way that I don't think she was expecting, because there were a lot of people that were asking the same thing. Well, what did you do to provide that educator in that school? What did you do to help that teacher? And these are questions that we have. The audacity is so high where these folks are literally gaslighting teachers to say, oh, I'm not buying school supplies, but also you need a rug and you need some custom decor. And I'm just to the comment, it says teachers are selling plasma to fill their rooms. Like, this is a reality, folks. You have teachers that are on payday loans and they are stuck in the loop every single pay cycle just to make ends meet. You have educators that are literally taking additional jobs and doing gig work in order to make ends meet. And the audacity, there needs to be more people that are talking about this and uplifting our educators, because it is not enough. I bring all this up because the Florida Education Association just posted a press release on the staff shortage and how there are thousands of students that are returning to school with no permanent educators. With no permanent educators. And when you talk to the governor of Florida about it, he's like, you are fake news. But the receipts are very, very clear. The data is very, very clear. And it's so sad to see. I'm going to post the link in the chat so that you could see the press release from the FEA yourself with the data, with it breaking it down by districts, by county. Because if you want to decorate with fancy rugs, you can do it at home. In fact, did you know that Florida homeschooling continues to rise? And I just want you to guess which district has the highest number of homeschooling students in Florida. Mm-hmm. 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 So the district that has the highest number of homeschool students in Florida is Hillsborough County. And the second to that is Duval County. Now, that's a problem because when we're talking about allocation of funds and how much our schools are receiving, that number definitely impacts what is happening at our public schools. But that's for a whole nother conversation at a different time. But I just want parents to understand that the audacity is very, very high for you to come on this app after all the things that have happened with education and the things that continue to happen with education, and to say that you're underwhelmed because you would want some more decor and rugs and all of that. And the question is, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because our children deserve better. Okay, so next on the docket here, we have the third day. It's the third day of school, is Wednesday, the 13th. And it's the third day on this cell phone school ban. So I'm just wondering how we're doing. I'm wondering if the kids are complying. Are they still walking around with their headphones and their cell phones and the different gadgets that they have? ABC Action News interviewed parents and students on their thoughts, and I just want us to watch this video together. So let me go ahead and share my screen and get that queued up so that we can watch that together.
A new school year does come with a new cell phone policy. Parents, if you have kids in grades kindergarten through 8th grade, this will impact your student. ABC Action News reporter Annette Gutierrez listening to what parents and kids think about the change.
It's basically a bell-to-bell ban for elementary and middle school students. The change is that there are no cell phones allowed in the classroom during school hours. And now parents and kids are sounding off.
Students, when you hear this bell, that means it's time to put the phone away.
So the time that they walk onto school grounds, cell phones have to be put away. Elementary and middle, that's kind of the big change. They have to be out of sight all the time.
School district leaders trying to get the word out of a new law passed this year to enhance learning in the classrooms.
In our classrooms, the real magic happens when we disconnect from distractions.
The law prohibits the use of cell phones and wireless devices for students in kindergarten through 8th grade. High school students are allowed to use phones, but only during passing periods, before and after school, and during lunch. It's not allowed during class unless the teacher says so.
I think that you will see a significant decrease in bullying, which we saw in Orange County public school system, and a significant increase in student focus and attention during the day.
We went out to hear the voices of parents on this, and many are on the fence.
I grew up in a time where we didn't have cell phones, so I agree with that because of the distraction it creates, but it's also a scary time in the school system. And, you know, you have, as a parent, you have that peace of mind, like knowing that you can communicate with your kid at any time.
I understand, you know, with them being on the social media while they're in school and that distraction, but just mostly just a safety concern.
But when listening to the kids, they were also in agreement.
It's nice that they're making sure that kids are on their phone while we're learning. But it's also, you also need phones to connect with your parents if you're in trouble or lost.
This restriction generally applies to teachers as well, except for emergencies and when not actively supervising students. But enforcement is up to the district.
Now, there are some exceptions for students as well. Those students who have medical needs or disabilities are able to check their phone for their health and also to message their parents. But for now, reporting in Tampa, Annette Gutierrez, ABC Action News.
So the comments of the post were very, very interesting to see. And so I'm going to post the link so that you're able to see it yourself. But I just want to highlight some of the comments that were made on the post. And I want to know from you, what do you think? Because again, we're on day 3 of this. And I can tell you just from my own social media research, there are students that are blogging at their school. There are students that are making TikToks. There are students that are still using their phone during class time, recording teachers and all of that. So, and if we're going to be honest about it, there's some educators that are using their phone during class time too. So I got questions. So some of the comments on the post says, imagine all of us that grew up pre-cell phones that went through 12 years without one and we lived. And to these type of comments, cell phones aren't going away, just like AI is not going away, which is something that we're going to talk about in a minute. But we're here now. We cannot go backwards with these phones. And there are some people that literally cannot go 30 minutes without touching their phone or even thinking, if they have their phone in their pocket, that it vibrated, because they are used to their phone going off and wanting to check to see what's happening. Okay. One of the other comments in here was pretty intriguing. It says, considering we have an increased number of high school graduates who cannot read or write. Let me read that sentence one more time just to make sure that people in the back, I hope ushers that they are on their jobs, because I told them at the top of the show to take their position. Okay, so this is what the comment says. It says, considering we have had an increasing number of high school graduates who cannot read or write, cell phones should be banned completely. Schools are equipped with a phone, a nurse, and a resource officer. We didn't need cell phones in the classroom in the past, and we don't need them now. Oh my God. Now, to this commenter, I just want to say thank you for highlighting the literacy crisis that we have going on. But I also just want to ask a question. Where are the school nurses? Because I'm getting messages that there are certain schools that don't have nurses, and there are certain schools that do not have resource officers. And so I'm just trying to figure out where that support is. And also, with that being said, with the different cuts that are happening, how are we supposed to be funding this anyway? Yeah. So I'm gonna post a link in the chat so that you can go see it yourself and read the comments and read what's being said, because it is a very interesting conversation. Because again, I have a lot of questions as it relates to these people that we're supposed to be having in our schools, and I'm just trying to find where they at. You had Ron DeSantis say that we were going to have our EMTs and our firefighters and those different folks come into the school, military personnel come into the school, and where are they? Yeah. Let's move on. So remember when I was talking about AI, right? All right. So AI has transformed education so much so. I don't know if you use AI, if you use chat, GPT, okay? If you use Gemini, if you use Claude, if you use insert list here of all of the different AI tech tools that are out here. But let me tell you something. AI has changed the game in education. We have AI tutors. They are chat bots that are working with children and providing one-on-one personalized learning. AI is providing automatic grading and feedback. It has been a time saver for educators to create lesson plans and rubrics and even responding to emails. Now, ethical AI is something that we really need to explore. Also, data privacy and vendors that are storing the data or selling and sharing the data. There are so many questions with the fast-paced change that is happening with AI. I want to highlight that the Secretary of Education sent out a letter on the guidance of the use of AI for federal grants. And I actually want to pull up this receipt. I'll share it with you in the comments, but I do want to highlight some of the things that were listed in this letter here. Okay, so let me go ahead and scroll to the end here. And it says principles for responsible use. Okay, so AI must be educator led. It must be ethical. And there are some question marks and some parentheses and brackets and a whole bunch of caveats and asterisks and question marks as it relates to ethical. Okay. It needs to be accessible. It needs to be transparent and explainable, which again, there's some question marks and some asterisks and some parentheses about that because there's some things that are happening that is not explainable. And there's no transparency regarding the matter, particularly as it relates to data storage. And it also must comply with federal privacy laws, including the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA. Okay. This letter was very interesting. This was sent back in July before the school year started. And I'm going to go ahead and post the link in the chat so that you could read this letter in its entirety, because I do think that it's really, really important that you are aware of the conversation that's happening with AI, or as our Secretary of Education would say, A1. If you know, you know. But this is something that needs to be highlighted and talked about, because I'm going to tell you, if you don't know, you have educators that will create lesson plans on ChatGTP. And then will be upset that their students are then taking those questions, uploading it into chat, and then getting an answer. You literally have students that are now uploading their homework assignments where the chatbot is answering these questions. You have college professors that are no longer assigning essays because they know that there's a high probability that it is going to be AI generated in some form of capacity. It's not going away. Just like these cell phones aren't going away, AI is not going away either. And it's only becoming more fast paced. And while there are folks that are saying we need to really look at this because it's bad for the environment, also, the other things that we do too outside of AI is bad for our environment too. So we can't have selective outrage and participation as it relates to AI education. I am telling you, we cannot have selective outrage and participation. So the question on the floor is, how different is this from parents doing the homework and projects? Woo child. Now that's a good one, because you had parents doing children's assignments and turning it in. I remember, I believe I was in middle school. I got to ask my dad what grade I was in. But there was a project that I had to do, and I had to build Big Ben, the big clock tower. My dad did that. I didn't build nothing. My dad was there going to Home Depot and setting the thing up. Now I gotta ask him what grade I was in that. But your question is valid. And in some cases, parents don't know how to help their children with their homework. And using AI tools works. There are some tools that actually break it down to show your work, but there's an app out there. It's called Photomath. Okay, it's called Photomath, and you can download it on your device, and you can literally use your phone, take a picture of the assignment, and it will solve the problem for you. There are so many different tools out there that are just like that. But yeah, so we need to have more conversations about AI use, because just like teachers are creating quizzes on AI, well, the students are uploading those same quizzes and are getting the answers and applying it. So it just goes to show that we need to reimagine what education looks like, in particular with the funding cuts and the things that are happening from our federal and our state policies is not sustainable. And this is something that has been talked about pre-COVID. Our children deserve much better. And unfortunately, we have policymakers and lawmakers and decision makers and state leaders that are not prioritizing our children at all. Just like I said, the state of Florida intentionally did not comply with federal guidelines to get reimbursement for Medicaid, which cost the state $2.2 billion. Okay? The question says, could have used that during calculus, which I haven't used since high school. Well, listen. Listen, that needs to be a whole series of coursework and formulas and things that have been learned in school that do not apply once you exit those doors, because that is wild. And at one point back in the day, they were like calculators. That was like a big no-no. Like you couldn't use a calculator in order to solve these equations. You had to do it by hand. Otherwise, you couldn't use a calculator. And now look, you got students that are taking pictures of it and getting the answers. So congratulations. Here we are with technology. We can't stop it. It's going to continue to move forward. So we just are going to have to adapt and pivot accordingly. Okay? We're going to adapt and pivot accordingly. Speaking of, we have schools that are shifting completely to AI. And there's a video that I want to share with you so that we could watch together. And there are schools that are replacing teachers with AI. And that's the headline. Like, that is the actual headline. So I'm going to share my screen with you and we're going to watch this video together so that we could talk about it.
A school in Texas is turning heads with its bold approach to education. At Alpha School, students spend 2 hours a day learning with AI teachers. The artificial intelligence adapts its lessons to each student, providing one-on-one personalised education. So what happens after those 2 hours are done? Well, the rest of the day is all about real-world skills, from tying shoelaces to learning how to swim and solving 100-piece puzzles. And the results are surprising. Students are scoring in the top 1 to 2% nationally, with the results so strong, the model is expanding to states including Florida, California, and New York.
So when I saw this, I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So they're expanding to Florida. So, of course, I did some research. So Alpha School is already in Miami. They are coming soon to Palm Beach. And guess where else they are coming? In the winter of this year. They're coming to Tampa. Yes, indeed. So let me go ahead and share this information with you. This is not sponsored by them by any means necessary, but I was doing research on this and I saw it and I was like, wow, I think people need to know that there's an AI powered school that's coming in the community that I love and I've been doing advocacy work for some time now. And I think y'all need to know. So when we go to locations, we go to Florida and then we see what's opening. We go to, it's the winter, Tampa. Here we go. So this is the future of education. It is coming this winter, folks. It is launching. Okay. So they have a K-8 campus. They are accepting applications and they even have events and programs that you can register to go to on Zoom. And this is their website. It is coming here. So like I said, at the beginning of talking about this AI is here. It's not going anywhere. And you need to either adapt or you're going to fall behind. And we are seeing how there are gaps. I have talked about the digital divide. I have talked about the inequities in internet service providers by zip code and have outlined that step by step many years ago. And unfortunately, we're going to continue to see this because I want to say is capitalism. I want to say it's not prioritizing the people that are impacting the children. I want to say that we keep moving the goalposts on our educators, the humans that are in front of the teacher. I want to say that some of these decision makers and these policy makers may or may not have had a traumatic experience in the education system, and this is why they feel like they need to create all these other options. There's so much to it to unpack, but to just think about all of these alternative choices for schools that are being created, all while defunding the public right of education, that's what's harmful. That's what's messed up. And again, I'm all for educational choice. I believe that parents should have a right to choose which avenue that they're going to have for their child, whether it's going to a charter school, a private school, or even homeschooled, or whatever type of solution that's created. This AI school, but defunding public education to help offset the expense for these other systems is not right. And having all of the legislative red tape and blue tape around public schools that make it harder to navigate than other systems is not right either. And I'm going to continue to advocate for public schools as a formal public school educator and making the promise to my students in 410 that I was going to continue to fight for them, whether I'm in the United States or not. Our children deserve better, and we need to hold people accountable for these systems that are not sustainable and that are failing our children. And if we look at the data, have been failing our community for quite some time now. So speaking of the district that I work for, I see more propaganda that has been posted recently. The article came out the 12th of August, yesterday. Yesterday, this article came out. Let me go ahead and share my screen so that y'all can see what I'm talking about. Because woo child, is you cool? Is you cool? Because Hillsborough has this article posted about how they spent $35 million repairing old HVAC systems. And I have some questions to that because I literally was just in one of the Hillsborough groups where there are some educators that say that they do not have working AC. One educator said that their room was over 88 degrees. And so I'm like, Chris Farkas. Y'all remember that name? I've been talking about Chris Farkas for some time now that still work for Hillsborough Schools under operations. Chris Farkas, sir, you've been running operations for this school district for a very long time. And the way that you've been able to move around in this district all this time, I still have question marks around it, sir. However, we are trying to figure out what is happening with these ACs at our schools, and why is this been a persistent problem for so long, and what is the course of action to ensure that our children are in spaces that are cool, that they're able to learn, because it's hot outside. It's hot. Chris Farkas, sir. Now, there's a lot of allegations out here, Chris Farkas, now, of things that have been said. And I just want to highlight one of the whistleblowers, okay? And they have been talking about you for some time, Chris Farkas, of the different things that you've been able to accomplish in the district, like going on trips and receiving gifts and a whole bunch of stuff going on, sir. And I just want to know, when can we get some updates as it relates to our teachers being in comfortable environments. You had one educator in the comments that say that they are in a portable and it feels like they are in a hot car teaching their kids. What is this? What is this? Now, I don't expect every single thing to work. I do expect that things will break and things that need to be fixed, but this has been such a issue. And I just find it very comical that this article came out yesterday when there are educators talking about the AC issues for the past week. So, for those educators that are in these conditions, I'm going to tell you that being quiet about it and keeping it within your school house is not going to help. You need to send emails so that they're public record. You need to continue to send those work requests and continue to hold the district accountable and asking for status updates. Please don't be afraid to put stuff in writing. This is one of the reasons why educators are being treated the way that they're being treated now. Blow the whistle, snitch, hold people accountable, because it's not going to just fix on its own. And y'all can reach out to Chris Farkas and ask him yourself. In fact, I will put his email in the chat so that you can email him directly, because there are some questions that we have as it relates to the operation of this school district that he needs to answer to. And there have been some whistles that have been blown about some things that have been happening behind the scenes, that accountability is needed. Because again, I still have questions as to how Chris Farkas still is in this position doing what he's doing when all of the stuff have came out about what. One moment. I just had to take a moment to just breathe and drink my tea because I get really fired up about this, because I remember being in a hot classroom and taking pictures of my AC unit and then being gaslit to say that the reason why my room was so hot was because I was in a computer lab type of classroom, as if that's supposed to be okay. And then witnessing people that I love on the school campus where they were hot too and they were uncomfortable, and you literally had kids just sweating because of how hot the school is. I have flashbacks of my experience working at Hillsborough County Public Schools with the AC not working. So I do take this very personally, particularly when there are people that I love that still work in this school district that are still dealing with the same issues today. So we got some questions for you, Chris Farkas, and I really hope that you're able to be accountable to them, because there have been people talking, and I just don't know what else to say about that. But yeah, sound off in the comments for the educators that are still dealing with AC issues. Let it be known in the comments. Let the people know. Tell them what school you go to and all of that. If you make it public, it's going to make it harder for you to be retaliated against, because if something happens to you or something is said to you because you said something, you have a whole squad and team that's going to make sure that you are okay. There have been educators that have come to us being teaching for the culture, to blow the whistle and to snitch on things that are happening that they know that is not right, because they know our children deserve better and they know that they deserve better. And we have been able to protect those educators from retaliation because they're not doing it alone. They have people that are watching out for them and making sure that if you're going to be a whistleblower, that you are protected. And there are laws that protect whistleblowers, but outside of that, some of these principals that are so concerned about protecting your school's image than what's actually happening, I'm here to tell you that it's not going to work this year. It is not going to work this year. Stop it. Stop it. If you're more concerned about your image than what's actually happening, it's going to be a problem for you because people are talking. People are writing things out. People are going to be holding people accountable and saying the things that need to be said. So please don't get caught up in that with, oh, I need to protect my school. I need to protect what it looks like. We working on this, and this, and making a whole sales pitch of things that are actually not happening because you want to protect the school image. It's okay that things are not okay. But what is not okay is you gaslighting people to say it is okay and it's not. That's not okay. That's wrong. Okay. All right. Whew. So let's move forward to a confessional that we have. And I'm going to keep this one brief due to the fact that there's a conversation about Roblox that I was saying at the top of the show that we need to talk about. And that conversation is very, very vital. Again, if you have children that are on Roblox, this is something that you need to tune into because I need you to see what is happening on the platform and some of the conversations that exist. But I do want to go ahead and share my screen so that you can see this confessional so that we could talk about it. So it says, I've officially submitted my resignation with a 2-week notice. My principal has been very supportive. She's encouraged me to prioritize my well-being and has even offered to be a reference for non-teaching opportunities in the future. However, HR has informed me that they won't accept my resignation or allow me to leave until a replacement is found. I'm concerned about what happens if no one is hired within those 2 weeks. I truly want to leave on good terms, especially since my principal has been so understanding, but navigating HR has been the most difficult part of the process.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
Educators, read your contract. Know your contract. Say it with me. Read your contract. Know your contract. In the research and all of this, I don't know if you know, but there are some states that actually require 60-day notices. There are some states that could have your teacher license suspended. And there are some states that require you to pay due to a breach of contract. Read your contract. What's really sad is that you are seeing a bunch of educators that are leaving the classroom and are seeking other opportunities, and some educators that wish they could if they were able to have a guarantee. But unfortunately, it is so difficult. And unfortunately, we are seeing that educators are not being empowered with the right information or knowing how to advocate for themselves because they don't know the contract. They don't know the terms and conditions. I am someone that is going to continually advocate for the terms and conditions, which is one of the reasons why I am not doing the Roblox challenge that I originally said that I was going to do, because the way that I was going to do it was going to be in violation of their terms of service because the policies have changed, which we'll get to in a moment. But as it relates to your teacher's contract, it is important to read your teacher's contract and to know how to advocate for yourself, okay? The fact that there are some states that actually charge educators for a breach of contract is wild to me, considering that we are not paying teachers the way that we should. And in the state of Florida, they are ranked 50th. Let me say that again. Maybe some people didn't hear what I said. Florida is ranked 50th in teacher pay. So meanwhile, the governors around here saying that, oh, we're going to get these people to come into our schools and our schools are doing great. We are expanding school choice. We have a whole bunch of different options out here. And meanwhile, I just shared earlier that the Florida Education Association did a breakdown by school districts saying that there are thousands of students that will not be receiving an educator due to the staffing shortage. Hello. We've been talking about this for quite some time now, and I just want to understand why people out here still with
you are fake news.
Why? Why? So I saw this confessional of this educator that is really trying to make this shift and is now having to explore their teacher contract and exploring the terms and conditions of their employment to make the decision that is going to work best for them. And I am sharing this to uplift this with y'all, with the folks that are watching live. I thank you. And the folks that are on the replay ministry, I thank you, because it's very, very important that folks have these conversations and know that different states are doing different things as it relates to our educators. And a lot of it is not equitable. A lot of it is not sustainable. A lot of it does not put the priority on our children and really just, again, wants to continue to funnel this unsustainable system that we have here. And it's not right. So if you would like to submit a confessional, you can do that on the website with Teaching for the Culture. And I will post the link in the chat so that you can have access to that. Or you could email us directly at receipts@teachingfortheculture.com. That's receipts@teachingfortheculture.com. And we would love to amplify and share your story because it's a lot that's going on. And we want to add voice to the things that are happening because it's vital. Your voice matters and we want to uplift it. So now we're shifting to Roblox. Okay. So the first episode of Morning Tea and Allegations, I was ready. I was fired up. I was like, all right, I'm going to get in here. I'm going to pretend to be 13 years old. I'm going to document the process and I'm going to show y'all the different stuff that's going on. Okay. Well, recently Roblox have changed their terms of service. In fact, Roblox is actually sending cease and desist to different content creators that have been on the platform highlighting bad actors that are on their platform. And it seems as though, going back to protecting the image versus what's actually happening, that is happening over at Roblox. And so if you have children that are on Roblox, you need to watch this video with me. I'm going to do a reaction to this video because it's really, really important that you see what is happening from the actual content creator that this is happening to. But also, there's some subsequent conversations that we need to have as to what is happening after this video was posted, which this video was posted 3 days ago. Okay, it has 1.7 million views. Okay, this video has gone viral. A lot of people are talking about it. It is in the news. And if you haven't seen it, well, welcome. Grab a seat, get relaxed. I'm going to be on mute, drinking my tea, and we're going to watch this together because it is really important that you know what is happening on the platform and what people are experiencing. So let's go ahead and roll the clip.
This video is actually a call for help, and I need everybody to share this video. The Roblox Corporation has sent a cease and desist letter to me, a 22-year-old, versus a multi-billion-dollar company, threats of litigation, because I can. catch predators on their platform. Within the last year, me and my team have gotten 6 predators arrested within the Roblox community. Almost all of them have admitted to doing this before to other Roblox users. Every account that I've owned on Roblox since I was 8 years old has been terminated. Accounts that we were actively talking to predators on have now been banned off of Roblox. What Roblox did could potentially stop some predators from facing real life consequences. Not to mention that Roblox has made a very firm stance that I can no longer access the Roblox platform anymore. Which I want to make clear at the start of this video, I will not be accessing Roblox in any capacity at this point further unless Roblox says otherwise. This is pretty heartbreaking to me because I've been playing Roblox since I was a little kid. I've loved this platform. I still do. I met my current girlfriend who I've been dating for 3 years. I live with her. We first met all the way back in 2016 through Roblox. I love so much about this site, and that's why I'm so critical of it, because I want to see it do better. The stuff that they've sent me in the cease and desist letter is actually laughably hilarious. Roblox is actively claiming that I am hurting their players. Here's an email. I didn't ever plan on showcasing this in a video, but this is from a kid who is thanking me for getting someone he was groomed by arrested in real life. He said he recognized him from my video, and here's some cool fan art he made of me. Roblox is claiming that I'm engaging in simulated child endangerment conversations. What? So one of the fundamental bases of predator catching is that you cannot talk sexually to predators. Predators are supposed to be the ones talking sexually to you. If you talk sexually to predators, like straight off the get-go, that's entrapment. That is literally what entrapment is. We almost always play a naive kid who doesn't know anything about this stuff, so they teach us about this stuff. If you watch these videos, you know how the chats are going, and they're not even on Roblox. Most of the chat logs are on Discord, and they're accusing me of getting people off of platform onto different social media sites. I guess that's worth a cease and desist and an IP ban of every single account that I own. That's just crazy. I can't even fathom that. They also say sharing or soliciting personally identifiable information. I have no idea what they're referring to this. I would love to know what they're talking about. Are they referring to the fact that I give the information of the predators that we find to the police? Like the people we're talking to are predators. Like, does Roblox understand that? I literally have no idea. If they thought something was genuinely wrong, they could have reached me out so easily. I think the most insulting thing is that they told me I'm not reporting people quick enough and I'm not reporting them through the right outlets. Tell me the right outlets. I have been trying to figure this out for like a year now. This here is Nepali Incel. This person actually made credible threats to the Las Vegas sphere in a Roblox game. And I saw this with my own 2 eyes. And the reason why it's a credible threat, it is because the FBI went ahead and arrested someone for making threats within that same game. I made a moderation ticket about it, and I even actually made a report to the FBI about this. Where is the cease and desist letter for him? Where's the IP ban for him? Are you going to ban all of this dude's accounts? Probably not. But back to the predator catching stuff. This is literally how it goes. We go to roblox.com/support, submit a moderation ticket, and then fill out the prompt with all the information regarding our arrest and give you guys the same Google Drive that we give to the cops. And in a lot of instances, Roblox won't even ban after we reach out to them regarding felony arrests. What I typically have to do is report cases to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or go on the news to show gameplay of our decoys with the predators on Roblox. I've literally felt so lost at trying to get the attention of Roblox regarding these predators. I've created binders with all the chat logs, and I've sent it to their headquarters in San Mateo, California. This is the first time Roblox has ever directly reached me out. Instead of trying to say, hey, we want to work with you, or literally giving me a line to report these people, or simply saying, don't make these videos anymore, we're gonna ban you, Roblox just terminated every account I own and sent me this cease and desist letter. My account, Malibu, a family-friendly sandbox gaming theme park channel that I've run since the pandemic. This is actually my first Roblox account. One of the hats that I wore on this avatar was actually something I got at a STEM event where I met Roblox administrators. That channel, it pays my rent. Roblox has made it clear that I'm banned from ever accessing the platform again, and I don't think I'm going to be able to upload on that channel anymore. When I was a kid, I was groomed on Roblox by a popular developer. He manipulated me. He used power dynamics over me and frequently exposed me to gore and not safe for work material and loads of other stuff that a kid should never see. It was so bad that I actually made an attempt. While I was in the hospital, my mom contacted Roblox. They brushed her off. That predator went on to groom more victims before Roblox finally banned him. Years later, by the way. Even after that, I stayed on the platform. I love the community. But as I ran Maliboomer, I kept spotting these predators, even in an innocent sandbox theme park game. Then I started Schlep, and the emails from victims got worse every single day. And that's when I started catching predators on Roblox. And that's when my fate got sealed on this platform. I've been very critical of Roblox's leadership and the refusal to act in a lot of instances. Last time I tweeted at Roblox's CEO, it was about a predator we had arrested. Roblox ignored it until Jadion and I made videos. Then they banned him, only for him to return. I sent proof of him talking about the video I made on him in a voice chat game on Roblox. Mind you, the same game a 10-year-old was abducted through weeks from this taking place. I replied to one of the CEO's posts about this, and he blocked me. Roblox still allows games like Public Bathroom Simulator, where naked shower together. This has millions of plays, and Dollhouse Roleplay, which also has millions of plays, is tied to a extortion group that the FBI has made public warnings about. Roblox allows you to say the word lolly on their platform. You can put it as your name. Explain to me that, Roblox, a kid's game. Because now you have a whole community of lollicons and maps on your platform. I really hope people can see that Roblox is wanting to have a firmer stance against me, a person trying to get these Roblox predators arrested, than these predators we've gotten arrested. Some of them literally have been arrested for CP. Why aren't you sending these Roblox predators cease and desist? They deserve it. They actually tried to commit a crime.
Hey, what's up? So we're here with your Roblox developer, right? Hello. Yep. We're about to do the wipe on his phone. We're going to get rid of the child pornography on your phone, right? Okay. How many images do you think we have to get rid of on your phone?
About like 30 or 40.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly.
And what's the game coming out that you got on Roblox soon?
Undertale.
Hell yeah. We're gonna make this game successful.
Man, this is definitely some very scary times. I'm just trying to stop what happened to me when I was a kid from happening to other people. And now I'm facing threats of litigation from a multi-billion-dollar company. Since my career and revenue streams are on the line, I have a site. It's called Schlep.tv. If you want to support my work and what we do and allow us to keep catching predators in the future, feel free to go ahead and support us over there. The most important thing we can all collectively do right now is share what is going on with Roblox. Tell your parents, tell your congressman, tell a journalist if you know one. And if any of them are interested, I'm more than willing to share my story, even to the people at Roblox. Even after all this, I am just trying to make a difference and help. I'm trying to stop what happened to me as a kid to happen to future kids. How can you see that as a bad thing? I genuinely can't comprehend it. One final word I'm ending this off on to Roblox. I have no plans of revisiting the platform. I will not be making a new account. I will not be going back on the site.
That was a lot. And it's a lot that's happening. And there are a lot of conversations that are now happening since the release of this video. Again, this was published 3 days ago, and it has 1.7 million views, and people are talking about it. Roblox has since responded to say that he violated the terms of service because he acted as a vigilante, which they have now added parameters in their terms of service where they are now uplifting that they work directly with the police to protect children. And it sounds good in theory. However, there are children that are harmed every single day on the platform and other platforms such as Roblox. So I am uplifting his story so that you can be aware of the things that are happening and for you to be very intentional with your child's cell phone, the type of apps and games that they play on, who they are connected to, because it is very important. Our children deserve better, they matter, and that is what I'm going to end you with today. Please be intentional with our educators and our education system. And most importantly, let's protect our children out here because enough is enough. There's a lot that's going on in our world, but ultimately, our children come first. So, with that, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Morning Tea and Allegation. Is you cool? In some cases, no, because this is not okay. This is not right. And we need to hold people accountable for the things that they do. So, with that being said, be blessed. Have an amazing day. And until next time, peace.